Hello, this is Xin Jing. In this video, we will be discussing about the XED between Pepsi and Coke. Firstly, here are some knowledge about cross-elasticity of demand. XED can be defined as the responsiveness of the quantity demanded for a good due to a change in the price of another good, assuming ceteris paribus. XED can be calculated by taking the percentage change in quantity demanded of good A divided by the percentage change in price of good B. The Coca-Cola Company is an American multinational corporation and manufacturer, retailer, and marketer of non-alcoholic beverage concentrates and syrups. The company is best known for its flagship product Coca-Cola, invented in 1886 by pharmacist John Steve Pemberton in Atlanta, Georgia. The Coca-Cola Company also produced Minute Maid, Powerade, Sprite, Fanta, Coke, and more. Pepsi is a carbonated soft drink manufactured by PepsiCo. PepsiCo is an American multinational food, snack, and beverage corporation headquartered in Harrison, New York. PepsiCo also produces other products such as Lipton, 7-Up, Gatorade, Ruffles, and Quaker Oat, and more. In conclusion, Coke and Pepsi are similar, so they satisfy the same wants. This is the end of my part, and now I'll pass it to Hui Min.
Hi, I'm Hui Min. I will be talking you through the cross-elasticity of demand between Pepsi and Coke. We have collected some data through survey by Google Form from 70 people. When the price of Pepsi increased from RM1.50 to RM1.70, the consumer has switched to consume Coke. The quantity demand in Pepsi decreases from 27 to 19. At the end, the quantity demand of Coke will increase from 43 to 51, and the demand curve will shift outwards. XED equals to the percentage change in quantity demand of Coke divided by percentage change in price of Pepsi. That is 51 minus 43 over 43 multiplied 100%, divided by RM1.70 minus RM1.50 over RM1.50 multiplied 100%. And it equals to 18.6% over 13.3%. Finally, the XED equals to 1.39. So, when the price of Pepsi increased 1%, the quantity demand for Coke will increase 1.39%. Since the XED that we calculated shows a positive sign, we can determine that Pepsi and Coke are substitute goods. Therefore, an increase in the price of Coke will cause an increase in the quantity demand for Pepsi. The direction of the arrows are corresponding, therefore the relationship between the two goods are positive. Next, the value of XED is greater than 1, which conveys that the demand is highly elastic. A small increase in price of Pepsi would lead to a larger increase in the quantity demanded for Coke. Hence, it indicates that Coke and Pepsi are close substitutes, having a strong relationship. The relationship between Pepsi and Coke are close substitutes, highly elastic, and they have a strong relationship is because the taste and look is similar. They both taste sweet and black in color. Next, they are both carbonated drinks. Also, both Pepsi and Coke are easily available. Wherever we see a shop selling Pepsi, beside it, we can find Coke.
However, Pepsi and Coke may be price inelastic due to the following reasons. Number 1. Brand loyalty. Loyal Coke lovers are not sensitive to the small changes in price of Coke, and it will still be a top priority when compared to Pepsi. Secondly, choices and variety. For instance, Coke has an orange vanilla flavor that Pepsi and Coke does not produce. So, without a doubt, consumers who love that flavor would still buy it even though there are slight changes in its price. The XED may be price inelastic because of the difference in nutritional value of these two drinks. Pepsi has much higher amounts of sugar, calories, and caffeine in it rather than Coke. Therefore, health nuts out there would then value Coke more than Pepsi.
In conclusion, although there are a number of similarities between Pepsi and Coke, but it is supported with the evidence that the XED between Pepsi and Coke is price elastic. This is the end of mine and Praveena's part. Now we will pass it to Emily.
Hi, it's Emily here. For now, we'll be discussing about how the knowledge of XED assists businesses. A firm can use XED calculated to consider the effects of a price change by its substitutes on the demand of its product. That being so, substitute goods can be produced either by rival businesses, where XED would act as a vital piece of information in making pricing decisions compete effectively with its rivals, or a single business which have produced two similar goods, hence to consider the aimed sales and ideal production quantity for both of their products. In the case if substitutes are produced by rival businesses, XED could be used to forecast the change in demand for its product. The business will be able to predict upcoming demand for its goods when they have the idea of the likely future price of its substitute, assuming ceteris paribus. Consequently, let's say if Coca-Cola receives information that Pepsi Cola would decrease the price of Pepsi by X% in the upcoming month, and so they would be able to estimate by how much the quantity demanded of Coke will drop as a result of a fall in price of Pepsi. According to XED worked out for the two goods, the results implies that the cross demand is elastic, therefore suggesting that if price of Pepsi decreases, Coke would suffer a serious drop in sales. That being the case, Coca-Cola Company may need to take further actions, such as to implement other pricing strategies, for example, competitive pricing, which is to set a price similar or slightly below competitors' goods, hence to prevent a loss in demand. Moving on, I would like to discuss about the functions of XED for firms. Firstly, the information from cross-elasticity of demand can be used to determine the price for its goods. As XED is elastic for Coke and Pepsi, if the price of Pepsi decreases, Coca-Cola would be advisable to also decrease the price of Coke to prevent a huge loss in sales. On the other hand, Coca-Cola may choose to willingly decrease the price of Coke to effectively snatch over rivals' demand, bringing a higher profit for the firm as the revenue forgiven due to the decrease in price would be proportionally lower than the increment of revenue from the higher sales. Secondly, XED could also be useful in making suitable decisions on the production output according to estimated sales. For instance, if Pepsi Cola decides to decrease the price of Pepsi to promote sales, Coca-Cola may want to lower quantity of Coke manufactured to prevent unsold stocks, which may lead to an increase in cost for the firm. Another important decision that a firm could consider about is the possibilities of merging, for example, horizontal integrating. Firms like Coca-Cola and Pepsi Cola that are producing close substitutes might be interested in merging because if they do, they will be able to eliminate competition among themselves, having the chance to dominate the market. For instance, let's assume that Coca-Cola Company and Pepsi Cola Company has merged. So, for now, the business would be producing two similar goods. Therefore, since Coke and Pepsi are substitutes, a fall in price of Coke would be followed by a fall in demand for Pepsi. In this case, the merged business has to take note about the degree of substitutability for the two products, which can be extracted from the numerical value of XED. Hence, to evaluate whether or not it is a good choice to reduce the price for Coke. Therefore, if the value of XED is positive and high, a fall in the price of Coke will lead to a large drop in demand for Pepsi. So, increasing the sales of Coke would come at a huge expense for Pepsi's sales and revenue, which is something the company would probably want to avoid. Concludingly, the business will identify what actions to be taken that will be optimal for the firm as a whole with the help of XED values.